On my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Rated Arrow. We are back at it again with another episode of Operation Debt Crusher. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull this to the screen. We're going to jump right into it. Just make sure, first and foremost, happy Saturday. We've moved this to Saturday so that you guys get to see me 6 days a week at the beginning of the month because we already have a solid show that's on Bag Fortification Friday now that more coincides with Bag Fortification Friday. Saturday, we talk about debt. And I understand that a lot of people out there would rather me just start liquidating assets that have grown beyond the debt and just pay the debt off and then start over from scratch and eat up all that opportunity cost from starting over from scratch during a Bitcoin bull run when the entire portfolio is Bitcoin related and or focused. And I'm just not going to do it because I don't have to. So to fill everybody in, I'm going to probably do this every episode because as people join the wolf pack, they'll jump in at different spots. First and foremost, I am not one of the big advocates of being debt free. I believe in understanding how the tool is used and then using it appropriately. For those who are not aware, both of my, not my crypto portfolio because I didn't fund that with debt, but my income portfolio that we've built that now is above and beyond what we have currently sitting at our debt load because we've been whittling it down a little bit at a time. We started off at 35,000. We're down to, we're going to go ahead. Let me pull it to the screen so we can just talk about while it's up here. We are down to we dipped into the 28s. We are back up into the 29s. It's stair steps depending on what we're doing that month. Obviously, we're still building the portfolio and we are still existing as a human. So bills have to be paid, mortgages have to be paid, lights have to be kept on. This internet connection that I use to record this episode has to be kept up. So I am willing to float a little bit of that in the short term to have the income generation machine that I'm using to pay this off in the long-term work where it needs to work. And as we are closing in on our target allocation for Misty, we are battening down the hatches. We're really trying to dial in to make sure that I have as much capital available. I've turned some of the debt tools that we use back on. They're back in play that aren't recorded on this because it's short-term leverage, but nonetheless, I use debt to buy assets. That includes my credit cards. I have one credit card that is a daily driver at a time under normal circumstances. With the exception of my surgery, we had to spread some debt out because we had a lot of surgery going on last year. And, which the last bit of it is sitting up there in the top column, the medical debt. But I believe in utilizing debt to build wealth. So as opposed to most people who are like, all debt's bad, never use it, blah, 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 I will tastefully leverage myself out to build income and get investments. Right now, it's predominantly focused at the income because I can then use that income to repay the debt. And then after the debt's repaid, you get to keep the income machine that you have created. Right now, ours is the high yield portfolio. We are almost through phase one. We got 100 shares left to go over the month of July, which I'm pretty excited about. Like we're getting there. Going into August, which is our double pay month for Misty, that should be a pretty big month. The payments have dropped. The NAV is stabilized at where it's at. So it's a benefit loss type deal. Overall, we're up over 20% on the position. So we're doing really well in total returns. Obviously, those total returns are used to manage debt and little bit of reinvestment and a little bit for our income portfolios. But we're going to be changing the distributions of how we're using our distributions from Misty post hitting that 2,000 share marker, because we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Are we still going to be having money going into the portfolio? Absolutely. Are we still going to be buying Misty hands over fist? Most likely not. Reason being is I get paid twice a month, and I'm trying to set this portfolio up so that it reflects those paychecks more or less. We might throw a little bit of weekly in to like do a little holdover, but right now my focus is going to be on covering both of those paycheck weeks. There's a couple of other positions within YieldMax and other ETFs that have come out in general that I'm looking at, but getting a decent payment on both of my paycheck days that supersede what I make that month, that is my goal for this portfolio, because that portfolio, my primary income portfolio, is going to be for covering my core repeated payments, which would be my house payment. Should I have a car payment, the car payment, utilities, internet, and utilities, internet. What else is on there? Utilities, internet. It's another repeated one. And my phone. Yeah. So it's got 5 things that are tied to it. I am already well past that metric. I am covered on all those fronts, I believe. But moving forward, we're going to be looking at doing that. So like as we're getting this first position solidified, finalized, cauterized, what have you, the debt is going to be shifty, because like some months we're going to be like really gung-ho getting after it, and then some months are going to be, well, I mean, this is going to be the last month of it. After this, it's all gung-ho, because the majority, at least 70% of my distributions from Misty, whatever those distributions are going directly towards chunking down this debt. After we get through the debt, we've got a couple of debt metrics. I've got some rewards set up for myself, so that way once the debt's paid off, I can, get some rewards along the way as we're chunking this down. But I'm hoping we see some $3 and $4 distributions from Misty, because those would really, really help. So going through, we've got a little bit of medical debt left, which is sitting at 0%. Let's go ahead and do the breakdown here. We got $537.10 in that bucket of the debt. That's on auto pay. It's coming out of my HSA now, so that doesn't directly affect my existing finances. That affects my HSA finances, which that's what it's there for. And we've got it built up to a point to where now we can start utilizing it for stuff like this. I don't generally, knock on wood, get injured in that, grievously at least. And yeah, so my medical expenses are generally low. The HSA is kind of like additional 401k or what would have you, tax advantage. We got to use all of the tax advantages we can get our hands on now, because we are in a state where we are making enough money that we are paying taxes. We're not just getting returns every time. So now you got to start getting money away from the tax man, because I don't want to pay any more taxes than I have to. So tools available, use them. But it is what it is. I've got 2 more payments coming out of here based on the way that they had the payment structure set up. It's $290 a month. So that should be exactly 2 more payments, and then we'll be good to go. Next, we have the Capital One Quicksilver. We did go make a purchase, a medium large purchase. I accidentally overpaid. So the reason being is I accidentally overpaid my credit card. So there was a negative balance, because like you can put your credit card in a negative balance if you just keep paying it when it's at 0. And I accidentally shot a payment over there that wasn't supposed to be there. And I had enough points saved up that I got a new firearm. So, and some bullets. So we had have a little bit of a balance on there, and I was like, I'll just pay that with cash out of my check for those next couple of positions. And yeah, so we've paid half of it down. This will get paid off the very first check of the month. Next, we've got our Citibank position, which is currently at a 0% debt load. This position is next up. So as we're getting ready to start, going after these debts, this is going to be the first one to go. Hold on a second. Reason being is it is about to start pulling interest, and I don't want to roll it again, which is an option. I could roll it, pay a flat 4%, and then go that route. But if I have the ability to just knock this out before I need to roll it, I'm going to do that. Next up after that is our Discover. Also, it's one of the larger ones, so I was trying to get these larger ones like kind of taken care of. Because, if you I prefer to pay off the bigger ones first. It makes me feel better about myself and the situation at hand. But we've got $9,286.79 on that card, which was predominantly used to start our primary income portfolio. So as you can see, the growth is the growth is the growth. Math doesn't lie. If I needed to, yes, I could sell off assets. This is a debt that is covered. Currently sitting at 0%. So while we are hitting up against that deadline, I am 1 month away from unleashing the hounds of Misty distributions upon this position, and it will go down. Like once we start doing that, and then we'll take our minimum payment for that, roll it into the Discover, rinse and repeat. Instead of going small balance up, I go big balance down. That's just the way that I roll. Next, we have our Discover, which is sitting at $6,700, $714.20. Jeez, dyslexia is killing me today. This position obviously was a roll of another position, and we have 0% interest until January of next year. That is next on the list to be paid off. After we get the Citibank done. Actually, I was going to put a star on that so that way I know where my focus is. After that, we have the Chase slate, which we also have the ability to roll into if I need to. I'm not trying to use that, but it's a great Chase slate. Love it for a balance transfer card. One of the caveats is you can't transfer from within the same credit card company a balance transfer. They don't let you do that, which is actually pretty smart, but they don't let you do that. So the Chase slate's sitting at 0 because we paid it off already. Next, we've got our Chase Sapphire, which is our current daily driver. This bad boy has been eking up a little bit. Now, I do have some points that I'm going to throw at this, but with that said, we've just been buying less stuff. Like that's the gist of it. It's like I've got points on here, but like also this needs to be paid down. Sitting at $3,536.03. That's just what it is. We've been buying Misty, and obviously if I'm buying that on margin and I've got this going, I'm just putting more money over there to manage the margin over there. And those are the decisions that are being made. So I'm willing to let this float because we're going to be having some money come off the money printer of Misty distribution, and I can pay that back out of my checks once I get my checks focused where they need to be. Last but not least is one of our other large debt holdings, which is Bank of America. Now, this is actually housing most of my medical debt. And so like that's what that position is. The Discover and the Citibank are all investment debt. The Bank of America is what's left of the medical debt that I didn't get put into the wrapped up payment plan that's almost paid off. So that's sitting at 0%. It's at 0% until July of 2026. We have $8,975.17. Not really a priority, but as we're rolling through this, we are paying off all debts. So as we're rolling through these, when we get down to Bank of America, that's going to be what it is. Like, we're just going to just roll through this in order of priority. Not stopping. The Bank of America should also, knock on wood, get paid off early. And then along the way, hopefully as we free up some of these debts and the credit score bounces back up into the 8s, they start throwing some more cheap and free money at me, and we'll rinse and repeat and continue to invest and continue to use debt to cycle into these portfolios. So that way we can continue to get richer on other people's dimes, applying a little bit of leverage. And that's what we're going to have for the episode today. Tap in with me down in the comments. Obviously, I know some of you guys are going to be like, man, this dude's crazy. Like, that's unbelievable. But there's plenty of people with way more debt than that. I just figured this would be a good showcase to show how somebody who's not making six figures, that, you know, understands how money works, both manages debt and shows that you can have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 in debt. Like, this all scales. It would have been the same process if the debt was higher, but $35,000, that's a lot to a lot of people. Just to show like the thought process, the methodology, and A, how you get it, B, how you go about tackling it. So this is what it is. This has been the update from June of 2025. You're watching this in July, obviously, of 2025. So we're getting to work. August is when we'll start seeing these numbers rapidly start going down. That's what's going to happen, because July, I've still got 100 shares, which isn't as bad as this month or the month previous when I was really having to buy a bunch. I've got a limited amount of shares I have to get. And like, once I do that, I can back off, take a little bit of a breather, and wait for August to kick in and just start focus on paying off debt. So hope you guys enjoyed. Tap in with me. If you haven't yet, hit that like button. If you've been here more than twice, go ahead and tap that subscribe button and formally join the Wolfpack. Also, make sure to hit the bell notification and turn all on so you know when I drop content for you. Last but not least, for my Wolfpack, share the video. We got to get these messages out here. We got to let people know what's going on out here. This has been your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero. Another episode of Debt Crusher. I'll see you next month. Peace.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play, man, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.